dear students. We welcome you all to the online classes. And first of all, I want to get yourself acquainted with what you have in the first PUC syllabus after your 10th standard. 10th standard, you had learnt science as a whole. In science, you had physics, chemistry, and biology. Now, in your first PUC level and second PUC level, you are going to study each part of science like physics, chemistry, biology, or if you have selected electronics or computer science as a different topic and different subject, each for 100 marks. Now we will talk about chemistry. In chemistry, we are all discussing about an important topic, thermodynamics, which is also a topic which you will be learning in physics. So we are going to have thermodynamics both in chemistry as well as in physics. Now, when we are talking about the term thermodynamics, what does it actually talk about? ಏನಂತ ಅದರ ಮೀನಿಂಗು? In Latin language, therme ಅಂದರೆ heat, dynamicos ಅಂದರೆ movement ಅಥವಾ flow. So, we are all talking about the changes that are brought about in a process, in a system because of flow of heat. So, what changes ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅನ್ಕೋಬಹುದು? Changes ಅಂದರೆ one form of energy converting into another form of energy. So, mechanical energy converting into electrical energy converting into electronic energy, or potential energy converting into kinetic energy. Various other conversions are going on. That is all talked about and discussed in thermodynamics. Now, whenever we are discussing about the heat changes that is going to be involved in a chemical or a physical process, then it is started, or we start referring to it as chemical thermodynamics. So that is what we are going to discuss in chemistry. It is the chemical thermodynamics. So there is always an interaction of two important components in thermodynamics. One, heat. Another is work. So both of these important components, when they are interacting with each other, and this interaction is associated with different physical changes, chemical changes, transformations, then they are all called as thermodynamics. Now, to understand this concept better, we have to go for the proper definition. So, students, when we are trying to understand thermodynamics better, we have to go with the definition. So, according to the definition, we discuss thermodynamics as the interaction of heat and work associated with our physical and chemical transformations. Now, when we are talking about the physical and chemical transformations, there are forms of energy that we are going to discuss. What are that? The forms of energy is the interconversion of electrical energy into heat energy and vice versa. ಎರಡು ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಹೀಟ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೀಟ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. It also involves another very important, that is work. Work would be involving either expansion or it could involve compression of gases. So all these are discussed under thermodynamics. Now, thermodynamics na innu ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ we have to be capable of identifying the differences between these terms. First of all, we have to understand what is the meaning of potential energy. Potential energy is nothing but the sum total of different forms of energy that are associated with the system. That is, the energy because of the movement of various atoms, ions, molecules which are present in that particular matter, all that different motions, translation, vibration, rotational, all these forms of motion will give rise to one energy which is called as the potential energy. This is how we define about it in chemistry. The second one is the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is because of movement, kinesis, movement of that body from one place to another. The energy associated with it is called as the kinetic energy. Now, what is the meaning of heat then? Heat is nothing but the transfer of energy from the hotter body to cooler body. Only when energy is transferred from a hotter object to a cooler object, you are able to understand that the phenomenon called heat or heating up of the substance. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಬಿಸಿ ರಾಡ್ ಐರನ್ ರಾಡ್ ಏನಾರು ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ you will not know that it is hot until unless you touch it. When you touch it, heat is transferred from the hotter body, the rod, to the cooler body, us. And then we can understand, oh, this is there. Otherwise, we will not know. So that is transfer of energy. That is called as heat. Matte temperature andre eno? The temperature is nothing but the average kinetic energy of all the particles. In that substance, there are a number of atoms, ions, molecules, each of them have got their kinetic energy. The average kinetic energy which we are going to measure is called as the temperature of the system. Then what is work? Work is transfer of mass from one place to another place. This is how we explain work in chemistry. So, ಎರಡು points we have to concentrate upon. What is heat? The transfer of energy from hotter body to cooler body. ಅದೇ ಥರ okay. Work is nothing but the transfer of mass from one place to another place. That is how we are discussing and defining work in chemistry. And what is our heat here? Heat is the transfer of energy from one hotter body to cooler body. What is work? The transfer of mass from one place to another place. So what did you understand? Both heat and work are explained due to the transfer. That is why in chemical thermodynamics, we are always discussing about the interconversion of one form of energy to another form of energy, and heat and work are two important essential components. That is why both heat and work will share the same units, joule. So that is what you have to start with. Okay. Once we have understood these basic terms, which ನೀವು ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲೂ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದು ರೀಕ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕ್ವೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ, we have just gone through all those. Now, to understand the thermodynamic concept better, every time the universe is divided into two components. What is that? Thermodynamics-ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ we have to separate the universe. ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. Universe which we are going to separate it into two components. One, ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ and surrounding, if you add them together, we will get the universe. So system and surrounding ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆನೇ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ to explain the universe. ಸೊ ಏನಿದು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಥರ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು we will try to understand it. See, if I am talking about the beaker, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಒಂದು ಬೀಕರ್ ಇದೆ. This is the beaker. In this beaker, there is water. ನೀರಿದೆ. Okay? The water is surrounded by this wall. ಈ ಬೀಕರ್ದು ವಾಲ್ ಇಂದ ಸರೌಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So, the wall is now called the boundary. The water inside the beaker is now becoming the system. Everything outside will become the surrounding. So, yenadu? So, if I am talking about the beaker in which water is there, this water is also in contact with some vapors of gas. This is gaseous system. Gas ide. Now, this gas, water vapor, along with water, this is the water vapor gaseous system, along with water, they are enclosed in this boundary. Ide boundary. So, this will become the system. And anything which is surrounding the system, everything outside will be now called surrounding. So, system andre eno? It is that part of the universe which is enclosed within the boundary. Boundary ಒಳಗಿರೋದನ್ನ system ಅಂತೀವಿ. And it is very important that we are studying its properties. Other properties are under study. Then it is going to be considered as the system. So it is that portion of the universe which is under thermodynamic study, and it is having one bounding wall. One imaginary no irbodu, real wall irbodu, that is called as the boundary. And that boundary will separate the rest of the universe from the system. So, anything which is outside this wall is now called the surrounding. So, you can take any example. For example, now ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಕೂತಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಬೆಂಚಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಲೈಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ದ ವಾಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ದ ಬೌಂಡ್ರಿ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಾಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ surrounding. So, anybody outside the classroom will be part of the surrounding. Whatever is there within the classroom ಒಳಗೆ ಏನೇನಿದೆಯೋ, ಏರ್ ಇದೆ, ನೀವಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಚಾಕು, ಡಸ್ಟರು, ಬೆಂಚು ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ದ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯನ್ಸ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ದ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸ್ ಇಂಟು ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸರೌಂಡಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಈಗ we are discussing about the water in the beaker. Adu system agate, and the wall of the beaker will become the boundary, and everything outside the wall of the beaker will become the surrounding. This is how we are going to discuss about the system and the surrounding in that particular thermodynamic point of view. So, system very important is within the boundary. Boundary ಆಚೆ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? We shall call it as surrounding. Okay? So, ಏನು important point ಇಲ್ಲಿ? System and surrounding. ಇದು system and surrounding are continuously interacting with each other. Interacting ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? They are exchanging energy as well as matter. So, this is what is going to be under interest for all of us.